Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video. I've had some in the past, but they're not on my channel anymore. But today we are going to be reading, as the caption says, First Samuel. So I'm going to tell you everything you need so we can study the Bible together. Okay, so currently you guys are on my chair. I'm filming this on my phone. But basically, you're going to need your Bible in any version and then I have some highlighters there and a journal. Also, it's perfectly okay if you guys don't have a Bible on hand. You can just watch it and I will write down all the words and have them in the captions. Now there was a certain man of Rathamazzahim of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was the son of Jobadiah. This is Samuel's father. And then I'm going to skip through all of the sons because I know it's very important to the culture. I lived in the Middle East for a long time, so I know it's very important, but I don't know how to pronounce all of them, so we're just going to move on. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the other name was The second wife, she basically had children, but Hannah had no children. This man went up from his city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. Also, the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, as priests of the Lord, were there. And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to his second wife and to all her sons and daughters, but to Hannah he would give a double portion. For he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed in her womb. So it was year by year when she went up to the house of the Lord that she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. When Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah arose after they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed to the Lord and wept in anguish. Then she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant and remind me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall ever come upon his head. And it happened, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli the priest watched her mouth. Now Hannah spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she was drunk. So Eli said to her, How long will you be drunk? Put your wine away from you. But Hannah answered and said, No, my lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor intoxicating drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Do not consider your maidservant a wicked woman, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief I have spoken until now. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition which you have asked of him. And she said, Let your maidservant find favor in your sight. So the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna summarize it now. So basically, her husband and all of the children, both of the wives, they went to this place where the priest lived and had a tabernacle or a temple or something, and basically it was like he would go and like pray to the Lord and everything when he went there once a year, every single year. And the second wife, she would basically get one portion and all her kids got one portion, but then her husband gave the first wife, Hannah, 2 portions. And Hannah was like sad because the second wife was not nice to her, which is like mean, because like it's just mean. Okay, now we're going to continue. We're in verse 9. Then they rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord. Okay, now we're in verse 19. Then they rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and returned and came to their house at Ramah. That's what I'm going with. And Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. So it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son. And they called him Samuel, saying, Because I have asked for him from the Lord. Now the man Elkanah and all his house went up to sacrifice to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, Not until the child is weaned will I go up. Then I will take him to the Lord. Then I will take him, and that he will appear before the Lord and remain there forever. So Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Do what seems best to you. Wait until you have weaned him. Only let the Lord establish his word. Then the woman stayed and nursed her son until she had weaned him. Now, when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with their bowls, one like cup thing of flour and a skin of wine, and brought him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. Then they slaughtered a bull and brought the child to Eli. She said, O my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman who stood by you here praying to the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore I will also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives shall... This is my dog all over. So, let's see. As he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord. So they worshipped the Lord there. Okay, so basically, she didn't want to, like, go to, like, the place or whatever. She didn't want to go until Samuel was, like, weaned and everything. So then when she went, she knew he was ready for the Lord. And basically, what I have highlighted here is I have verses, like, I did not go over this. But basically, I highlighted, in verse 4 and 5. And then I also highlighted verse 8. And I also highlighted verse 17. And that's basically what I highlight. I highlight some things a lot, and then some things I don't highlight them as much. But I hope you guys, like, really enjoyed this video. And if you did, I will be making Samuel chapter 2. So be on the lookout for that, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, okay. Don't forget to go check out my Instagram. I'll link it right there. And yeah, okay. Bye, guys.